The evening everything fell apart was quiet, but the impact was shattering. In this gripping 5-chapter mature drama, a husband uncovers his wife's hidden double life, a world of secret thrills, dangerous liaisons, and forbidden desire. Told from his perspective, this story explores betrayal, emotional strength, and the quiet power of walking away. Dive into a tale that's raw, intimate, and impossible to forget. The evening the sky turned against me. The evening everything fell apart did not begin with thunder or shouting. It began with silence. I remember that clearly. The house felt too still when I walked in. No music from the kitchen. No soft humming. No scent of the spicy stew she liked to cook on Fridays. Just silence pressing against my ears like deep water. I had come home early. That detail matters. If I hadn't, perhaps I would still be living in the comfortable lie I called my marriage. I won't tell you her name. She never gave it when she told her stories, and I suppose I owe her that much privacy. She wasn't caught. Not by her husband. Not by me. What happened that evening wasn't exposure. It was something worse. It was revelation. Her phone was on the dining table. Face down. Charging. She was in the bathroom, I could hear the shower running upstairs. Normally, I wouldn't touch it. I wasn't that kind of husband. I believed in trust. I believed that trust was the spine of love. But that evening, the phone vibrated. Once. Then again. And again. It wasn't curiosity that made me flip it over. It was instinct. Something primal and protective. The screen lit up with a message preview. Tonight felt dangerous. I loved it. Same time next week? There was no name. Just a letter. K. I stared at it longer than I care to admit. The bathroom water kept running upstairs. I could hear her faintly humming. My first reaction wasn't anger. It was confusion. Dangerous? Same time next week? I scrolled. I shouldn't have. But I did. There were messages going back months. No hearts. No obvious I love you. Nothing so blatant. It was coded language. References to hotels I'd never heard of. Business trips that I had paid for. Evenings she had told me she was a book club. Book club. I laughed then. A dry, broken sound that didn't belong to me. The shower stopped. I put the phone exactly where it had been. Face down. Charging. My hands were steady, which surprised me. Inside, I felt something tearing slowly, like fabric being ripped inch by inch. She came downstairs wearing that silk robe I'd bought her last anniversary. She kissed my cheek. Her lips were warm. Familiar. You're home early, she said lightly. Traffic was kind, I replied. We ate dinner together. She talked about a friend's promotion. About how she might travel next month. About life. About nothing. I watched her. Every smile felt rehearsed now. Every casual glance at her phone felt calculated. But she wasn't nervous. Not even slightly. That was the part that unsettled me the most. She wasn't afraid of being caught because she believed she never would be. After dinner, she sat on the couch scrolling. I stood at the window pretending to watch the streetlights flicker on. My mind replayed the messages. Dangerous. Loved it. Same time next week. I didn't confront her. Not that night. Instead, I went upstairs early and lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. When she came in later, she slipped under the sheets beside me and curled into my back like she always did. Her arm draped across my waist. Her breathing slow and steady. And I realized something terrifying. The evening everything fell apart wasn't loud. It was quiet. And I was the only one who knew. The weight of knowing. Once you know, you can't unknow. The next morning, she made breakfast like nothing had shifted in the universe. Eggs. Toast. Coffee. She kissed me before I left for work. "Don't forget," she said sweetly, "I'll be out late Thursday." Girls' night. Girls' night. I nodded. The lie rolled off her tongue effortlessly. No pause. No guilt. At work, I couldn't concentrate. Spreadsheets blurred into meaningless lines. My colleagues' laughter sounded distant, like it belonged in another world. I wasn't angry yet. I was studying her in my mind. How long had this been happening? The messages went back 6 months, but was that the beginning or just when she grew comfortable enough to put it in writing? And what did dangerous mean? Was it the secrecy? The thrill of almost getting caught? Or was there something darker in the way she lived this double life? That night, she initiated sex. That had always been her way when she sensed distance. Physical closeness to bridge emotional gaps. But this time felt different. She was bold. Hungry. Almost reckless. And I couldn't help wondering if I was being touched by hands that had learned new tricks elsewhere. It wasn't disgust I felt. It was humiliation. Because even in betrayal, she was in control. Afterward, she lay against my chest and traced circles on my skin. "You've been quiet," she murmured. "Just tired." She accepted that answer. Or pretended to. Thursday came faster than I expected. She dressed carefully that evening. Not overly glamorous. Just enough to suggest she wanted to be noticed. "I might stay over at Nina's place," she added casually. "We'll probably drink too much." I smiled. "Have fun." She left at 7:18 p.m. At 7:42 p.m., her location sharing stopped. That was when anger finally arrived. Not explosive rage. Not shouting. Cold anger. The kind that sharpens your thoughts instead of clouding them. I didn't call her. I didn't text. Instead, I drove. I knew the hotel from the messages. She had mentioned it once as a conference venue. Downtown. Discreet. The kind of place where no one asks questions. I parked across the street. At 8:03 p.m., she walked in. Not alone. He was taller than me. Confident. His hand rested at the small of her back in a way that spoke of familiarity. She laughed at something he said. I had never seen that particular laugh before. It wasn't the one she used at family gatherings. It wasn't the one she used with me. It was freer. Raw. And in that moment, I understood something brutal. She wasn't trapped. She wasn't lonely. She wasn't neglected. She was choosing this. I didn't storm in. I didn't confront them. Instead, I stayed in my car and watched the revolving door swallow them whole. The evening everything fell apart wasn't the night I saw the messages. It was the night I saw her happy without me. The story she told the world. Weeks passed. I didn't confront her. That might make me sound weak. Maybe I was. But I needed to understand the scope of the damage before I made my move. What I discovered surprised me. She wasn't reckless in the obvious way. There were no suspicious charges on our joint account. No public displays. No social media slips. She was careful. Meticulous. And then one night, while she was asleep beside me, I found something else. A blog. Anonymous. Confessional. It wasn't hidden well. A bookmarked tab. Password saved. I opened it. The writing style was unmistakably hers. Sharp. Intimate. Bold. She wrote about adventures. About craving intensity. About loving a stable husband but feeling alive in the arms of another man. She never used names. She described hotel rooms in vivid detail. The way she felt slipping off her wedding ring before knocking on a door. The thrill of walking back home afterward, untouched by suspicion. She described me as kind, predictable, safe. And she described him as fire. I kept reading even though each sentence felt like a blade sliding between my ribs. She wrote, "He will never know. That's the beauty of it. I get both worlds. Stability and danger." She wasn't confessing out of guilt. She was boasting. And strangers online applauded her bravery. Called her empowered. Cheered her secrecy. That night, lying beside her, I realized something devastating. I wasn't losing my wife. I had already lost her. What I had now was a stranger who wore her face. And she believed she was untouchable. The breaking point. The breaking point didn't come with shouting. It came with laughter. We were at a dinner party hosted by friends. She told a story about loyalty, about how cheating was pathetic. Everyone nodded in agreement. I watched her perform morality like an actress on stage. And something inside me snapped. Not loudly. Quietly. After we got home, she poured herself wine and kicked off her heels. "Fun night," she said. I looked at her for a long time. "Do you ever get tired?" I asked. "Tired of what?" "Lying." She froze. Just for a second. Then she recovered. "I don't know what you mean." I stepped closer. "I know about the hotel." Silence. The mask cracked slightly, but she didn't crumble. Instead, she surprised me. She smiled. Not nervously. Calmly. "So now what?" she asked. No apology. No denial. Just curiosity. That was the moment everything truly collapsed. Because she hadn't been caught. Not in her mind. She thought this was simply a new phase. A negotiation. I realized then that she didn't fear losing me. She assumed I would stay. That I valued comfort over dignity. She underestimated me. After the silence. I left 2 weeks later. No dramatic scenes. No screaming. Just paperwork. She didn't beg. She didn't cry. She asked if we could remain civil. I agreed. Not for her. For myself. People still don't know the full story. To them, we simply grew apart. Her blog disappeared shortly after I confronted her. Perhaps she started a new one. Perhaps she didn't. What matters is this. The evening everything fell apart didn't destroy me. It exposed me. It showed me how easily love can become habit. How easily trust can become blindness. She was never caught in the public sense. She still walks through the world unmarked. But I carry the knowledge. And strangely, that knowledge set me free. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing a man can do is walk away quietly. And let the silence speak louder than revenge ever could. What happens when trust shatters but life goes on? This story leaves you questioning love, loyalty, and the limits of silence. Follow a man who discovers the truth, faces heartbreak, and finds his own strength in the aftermath of betrayal. If you've ever wondered what lies behind closed doors, this mature drama will keep you captivated until the very last word. Thank you for reading this intense journey of love, betrayal, and silent strength. If this story kept you on the edge of your seat, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more gripping dramas that dive deep into the human heart. Share your thoughts, leave a comment, and join our community. Your engagement helps us bring even more powerful, mature stories straight to you. Stay connected, because the next story could be even more unforgettable.